Hi guys. I don't know if you guys can hear me. I've got audio feedback. I know I didn't announce the live stream. I'm just saying who will show up in the next few minutes. "2019 was the worst year of my life. 2020 basically matches it. You can't get worse than 2019 because my dad died. But 2020 basically ties it. I see people are coming in. Hi, Retro Tech and Stuff. Zombie Geek. Shane Clark, hi. There's so many things I want to say about 2020 that would get me demonetized so quickly. Hello, Daniel. That I don't know if it's even safe to say this, but screw 2020. Hi, Max. I just got news probably 20 minutes or so ago. Yeah, exactly. They are listening. I just got news about 20 minutes or so ago that my girl hedgehog, who was about 4.5 years old, just died. My ex Jess, she was with her. My ex has my two hedgehogs and Starla, plus the spider. We'd had so many good memories with Aurora. I've had a lot of good memories with Aurora. It's just not getting any easier. Every time I think everything's starting to look up, it gets worse. And I'm really sick and tired of making live streams where I'm trying not to cry. But it's because of all this stuff happening, I have no urge to make anything or do anything fun. I'm just always self-loathing. And yeah, I know it's depressing. I need to at least start doing live streams and talk to you guys more often. I miss communicating with you guys. I don't think this live stream's going to be very long, but I wanted to put it out there that I don't know if I can go on YouTube. And to make things worse, Ken from the Computer Clan and I were going to be doing a collab at the Lair this weekend, and I had to cancel because I have no way to get there. My truck's broken. And even if they fix the truck now, it's too late now. If it was fixed tomorrow, I don't know if I'd trust it to drive all the way up to where he lives, which is probably 900 miles from here. That was going to be my big comeback for the channel. coming back on his channel, and then starting back up on here. Well, that's not going to happen anytime soon. I've already told him that I can't make it. Top it all off, there's a slim but possible chance I'm going to end up with pneumonia because I had to take a friend to the hospital a few days ago. So I don't really want to try to give anyone pneumonia if I end up with it. But Ken's understanding. If I decide to continue YouTube, which it's up in the air right now, honestly, because this stuff just doesn't do what it used to for me. And I'm always so happy when I'm doing YouTube. It makes me feel better. But I have to get in the mood to film in the first place. I have to be in the mood to edit. And when I'm in that mood, I'm the happiest I can be. But I have to get there first. And everything keeps getting worse, you know? And hi, Jess. Love you, dear. But I don't know. This year just keeps getting worse. Only good thing is Jess. Jess number 3. Yeah, all of my girlfriends have been named Jessica, and that's never been planned. It just happens that way. Hi, GT. Jess number 3. J3. Exactly. She's the only thing that's happened in 2020 that I think has been a good thing. You know, that's the only silver lining in 2020. But starting out the year with breaking up with J2 and then losing Starla and the hedgehogs and the spider, and just trying to live on my own after living with someone for 7.5 years, and then around the same time COVID hitting, and everything just basically going crazy. Other than J3 and her daughter and our dog Sadie, there's not really been any silver linings. Everything has just been bad. Really bad. Thank you, GT. Thank you, Steve. But, you know, everything seemed to it started getting better. A little bit better. About the time Jack went missing. He'd spent the last 2 weeks spending the night with me and then going out and doing his own thing. And I co-own him with my neighbors down the road. He was their dog first, and then he followed us up one day and never left until I got him fixed. And I finally got to know the neighbors, and we basically share him. He's the neighborhood dog, but he's truly our dog, you know. But Jack went missing. Jack I'm used to disappearing for a few days, not seeing him, because he'll go up in the woods, he'll go hunt, you know, and then when he comes out of the woods, he'll go down the street about half a mile or so and stay with them. I don't see him some days, and that's totally fine. But he'd been staying with me for the last few weeks, every night, minus 1 or 2 nights, but almost every night. And he'd been gone for like 3 or 4 days. And I finally texted my neighbor. I'm like, Jack's been staying with you, right? He's like, no, I haven't seen him in 3 or 4 days. That's when the panic started setting in. You guys have seen Jack in the videos. Like at the end of the excursion video, that's my favorite video of him. You know. I had a bad feeling something bad had happened. That he had chased some wild animal up into the woods, because he's come back before covered in bite marks and scrapes. Because he'll fight coyotes. He apparently chases bears too. Not the world's brightest dog, but he's lovable. I had a bad feeling he was hurt up in the woods. Or, God forbid, dead. And I looked for him when we realized he was missing. I looked for him hard. I called for him for hours at the top of my lungs, just waiting for him to come out of the woods. And I looked for him as hard as I could for probably a day and a half. Little did I know I'd passed him multiple times looking for him. Neighbor down the street contacted another neighbor down the street who contacted me because they saw my post about him missing. And they said they thought that they had found him in the creek. I'd driven by that section of creek for days, not knowing he was there, not knowing he was missing until the day I'd been looking for him, like constantly. I was everywhere looking for him. Because sometimes he goes out about 2 miles up the road where he's not supposed to be, and I sometimes get a phone call or message saying that I need to come and get him. I went down there. He wasn't there. But this neighbor contacted and said they thought they'd found him in the creek. And the creek, for the most part, is pretty shallow or covered by culverts, you know. But there's one section of the creek which is about 15 feet deep. Maybe even 20 feet. It's right at the end of the neighborhood. And the creek's just a stream. It's not deep, as in deep water. It's just a stream, but the cutout for it. It's like the Grand Canyon of creeks, if that gives you a general idea of it. Well, I drove down there at twilight. The sun was just about to completely go down. And I see my neighbor, which I've met maybe once or twice in my whole life, because he lives at the very end of the neighborhood. I said, I'm looking for Jack. He said, he's down there. I looked down, and Jack's just looking up at me as pitiful as he can be. His lower half is in the stream, and he's just standing on his front paws, just looking up at me. Just really sad eyes. I'm like, hi, Jack. First thing that popped in my head is, he's really hurt. I think this situation has screwed me up the most this year. Because he's too good of a boy to be hurt. But anyway. Well, I drive down to the more shallow part of the hillside. I climb down probably 15 feet in the mud. Walk over to him. I'm like, I know, Jack, this is going to hurt. You just got to be ready for it, man. I just grabbed him and flung him over my shoulder. He didn't make a noise. Like, he's really hurt if he didn't feel that. But I tried to stay optimistic. With him over my shoulder, I'm trying to claw my way out the creek, up the muddy bank, covered in weeds. And I keep losing my grip on him and dropping him, which made me feel really bad. But didn't hurt him. He was probably pretty annoyed, but it didn't hurt him. But he just wasn't moving right. And I was just trying to hope that his hips were dislocated or something. And that's the reason why I couldn't move. So I finally get up the bank with him. I load him into the back of my car. I drive him down to my neighbor who shares him with me. And his kids are there. I carry him in. He's covered in mud. He smells like death. He'd been in the stream for at least 2 days. Could have been up to 4. Who knows? His lower extremities were bright red from being in the cold water. And he could barely walk. Well, he could barely move. He couldn't walk. He was really weak, dehydrated, hungry. I felt so bad knowing that he'd been down in that stream for all those days, me going by, not having a clue that he was in the one blind spot in the creek where you would have never seen him unless you were looking right over the bank. We're still not sure what happened. The neighborhood dog, the other neighborhood dog, and him were best friends and liked to go hunting in the woods together, even though the neighborhood dog's supposed to. The other one lives a few houses down from the other owner. He's supposed to have a shock collar on to keep him in that one neighbor's yard. Collar never works. He's always all over the neighborhood, you know. He and Jack like to go hunting and chasing after animals they should never chase. And they chased after a black bear the other day. And one of my neighbors said that he saw the other dog's name is Harvey. He saw this bear swat Harvey right into the creek, and Harvey just climbed right out. So there's 2 possibilities to what happened to Jack. One, the bear finally got mad enough and swatted him into the deepest part of the creek, and Jack landed on his back. Or 2, and what I'd say is the more likely scenario, is we have a few douchebags that like to drive up our neighborhood at Mach 5. For no reason, just to drive up the neighborhood and try to run over everything and everyone that's in the middle of the street. And there's a good possibility he was hit by a car. It didn't even slow down. He got flung into the creek and landed where I found him. But anyway, I took him over to the neighbors. We got him food and water. I'm feeling his behind area, trying to figure out, what's wrong. I'd been talking to my vet. He's like, if his back's broken, you should probably put him down. And he said, the way it sounds, it could be. But I'll see him in the morning. Well, I'm feeling the way his legs are dangling and stuff. I'm feeling his hips. They don't feel right. So I'm hoping that his hips are dislocated. You know, a simple fix. Pop him back in. He'll start walking again. And we swear we see his rear legs moving some. And it's just twitching from, you know, contractions and stuff of nerves. My vet explained it. But anyway, he wasn't actually moving his legs like we thought he was. And he'd been down in the stream so long that I guess his bowels just kind of froze for a while. The next morning when I came to get him to take him to the vet, he crapped everywhere. He couldn't control himself. And we were just thinking maybe it's because he couldn't move very well and just didn't have time to do anything. Because he's walking on his front paws, dragging his hind legs behind him. You know, he can get places, but he's not moving his legs at all in the rear. But we'd take him over to the vet. And I took him over to meet my neighbor and his daughter there a few minutes later. But I took him over, carried him in on my shoulder, waiting on the vet, put him on the cold examining table, and as I'm setting him down and situating him, he just right off the table, head first in the hard floor. Made me feel really bad. But I wasn't expecting it. I had no time to react. He just dove himself right off the table. And he just laid there, defeated looking. He hadn't hurt himself, but I think he realized that he was pretty much boned and had basically accepted that he was screwed and he was probably going to die there today because he knew where he was. He'd been to the vet before. Well, the vet came in after the owner and the other owner and his daughter came in, Chuck and Claire. Chuck and Claire are there, and I'd finally gotten Jack back on the table. And I'm just holding him, petting him, calming him. And my vet's name's also Chuck. It gets kind of confusing sometimes when I'm talking about Chuck and Chuck. But anyway, he does the universal, let's see if he has any feeling in his legs, where you take a pair of pliers, basically. He was actually using a pair of wire cutters. And you're supposed to, he didn't, but you're supposed to break one of their toes. He just put as much pressure as he could without breaking the toe. He didn't make a noise. He's like, yep, his back's broken. He said, this is what happens when he can actually feel it. He grabs his front paw and presses down, and he helps. So I told Chuck, the owner, I'll let you guys choose what the path is going to be for Jack. You know, he was yours first, you know. And they said, let's take him home, spend a few days with him, see if he can acclimate. I'm like, that's a good idea. Let's do that. Jack's an outside dog who loves to go out in the woods, hunt, and play around. And that very moment, you realize he's never going to be able to do that again. He realized that he would never be able to do that again. I think he knows that he will never be able to do that again. Jack's that dog that likes to climb into your garage without you knowing and get locked in that garage for hours. You walk in later and you're just looking eye to eye to him. He's just, happy and panting and, And he can't do that now. He can't sneak by you when he can't even walk. See him, I've got a garage with a staircase in it next door. That's the studio, which still needs wiring. He likes to sneak by you and climb up into that staircase and sleep. Walking down those staircases the other day, I'm like, Jack's never going to be able to do that again. All these things are making me more and more depressed, thinking about things he can't do anymore. But we all decided, instead of putting him down, even though Chuck and I considered it because it might be more humane, because he's definitely not happy the way he is. Jack's a fighter. They'd walked him around with a towel behind his legs. He just tried to get away from them, walk as fast as he could. We decided to get him a wheelchair. But he's now permanently a house dog. I don't know how he's going to handle that. I feel really guilty over it. I know there's nothing I could do. But I feel like there could have been. He's too good of a boy for all this to happen to him. But I've been trying to come to terms to it that now he's a dog with disabilities that will always need help. He can't control his bowels, sad, depressing stuff, because he's been a very strong, happy, peppy pup his whole life, from the time they found him to the time he came up here. He loves playing with my girls. He loves playing with their dogs. It's hard to think that he's now going to have to go around in diapers, and he can only be in the wheelchair for about an hour at a time according to instructions. And even being in a wheelchair, he can't go very far, because one thing where he is right now, because he's not at my house right now, I will be taking care of him on occasion. But the house he's in right now has got narrow walkways and stuff. He's never going to fit through that. So he can't walk around inside the house very well. And there's not much pavement around here in the middle of the country. He can't really walk through grass with those wheels. I've been pretty depressed in the past. I've been a lot more depressed than I am right now, but it's hard. The way I feel right now, I don't know if I can go on with the channel or anything. Now, I'm not announcing the end of the channel, but it's going to take me a long time, I think, to get back in the mindset of actually continuing to grow this channel and make the videos that I've been wanting to make. I literally have stacks of material of things that need to be filmed, that I want to film and share with you guys. But every time everything starts getting better, it's something bad happens. Like Aurora, my hedgehog, dying. It's just been a bad year. For not just me, of course, but everyone. But it's hitting me hard. So, I will be back, guys. I'm determined to fight my thoughts and come back full steam with the channel. Every time I try to come back with the channel and make one video, something bad happens again and chaos ensues. Channel dies again because just how, you know. I'm sorry I'm not reading your comments, guys, but thank you for the support and the great words. I love you too, Jess. But, you know, if anything, I'll be back by 2021. Definitely be back by 2021. But I really want to be back before then. I agree with that, Joshua, for sure. But, you know, guys, I wanted to tell you once again where I've been. All these live streams suck. I know. Because I'm just just not the YouTube me in them. Telling you what's going on. If you noticed, I started cleaning off that table behind me and never finished. I got some stuff off of it and I just stopped doing it. You know, that's how this whole year's been. I start something and stop it before it even really gets going. So, anyway, guys, I wanted to give you guys an update where I am, how I'm doing. The more bad things have happened to me again. I'm really, really upset over my hedgehog. Lots of good memories with her. She was a little sweetheart. Cutest little ball of prickles ever. We'd had her since she was like a month old. Back then her spines were literally like sewing needles. Very painful just to touch her. When they're fully grown, they're like wooden toothpicks. In a big amount, it's not painful. Unless she gets mad, you know. Because they'll ball up and start, psst, 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 you know. That hurts when you're holding them and they get like that. But, you know, if you take a box of toothpicks and start stabbing it in your hands, it's going to hurt. But I remember nicknaming her Needles because we got her as our second hedgehog as a baby. She was just getting her spines in when we got her. And they were like little sewing needles. It didn't matter if she was happy or mad. It hurt just to touch her. Because it was like sticking yourself with a sewing needle every time. So I nicknamed her Needles. My little girl. I'm glad we got her when we did. Because it wasn't even a month later, her older sister, who wasn't even 2 years old that we rescued died of bladder cancer unexpectedly. So we were happy to have her to fill the void, because we were originally going to get, hedgehogs don't like being, they like being alone. But if you slowly acclimate each other, they can live together. And that's what our plan was. But we never had that opportunity. But we're glad we had her, because losing Luna was hard. Losing Aurora, the one that just died today, it's hard. Well, I just wanted to put it out here. Got 16 viewers. 16 viewers? 22 viewers right now. Wanted to put it out there. I love you guys. You know, I love all the support you guys give me. I'll get out of this funk. I'll get back to everything. I don't want to right now, but I need to, because it's great therapy. YouTube helped me get over my grandmother passing away. That's how the Power PC series started. Those joke intros made me feel better. YouTube helped me with my dad passing. YouTube will help me through this. But it's hard right now. But I wanted to thank you guys for joining today. It means a lot. All the support, all the kind words. I should be right now doing some video on Apple Silicon or something like that. Or actually doing the mod book video, which is way too late by this point to do. Or doing something like that. But, and yes, I did start the mod book video. I never finished it, because something bad happened again. Oh yeah, I broke my phone. My phone, which I used to film with. This thing right here that's held together with packing tape was in a lot worse shape before I fixed it. I still can't make a cellular phone call with it, but I can record now. But I broke this thing for over a week, and I was using my old phone, which I have no clue where it is right now, which has a battery life of like 30 minutes. It was fun. But I broke down a new screen and a new frame for it, because I bit the frame backwards. And then I found out the phone's still broken, and I couldn't get it to stay together. I broke it really well. I very majorly broke it, and I'm waiting on the 12 Pro Max to come in the mail. I was one of the first people to order it, of course, so I could replace that. And I actually, yes, I do have other cameras I could film with, but I'm lazy and I never learned how to use them. Almost every video on my channel has been filmed with an iPhone. And the videos kept getting better because my iPhones kept getting better. You can film movies with an iPhone. Why not film YouTube videos with an iPhone? Well, I broke that phone shortly after I started filming the mod book video. Couldn't finish filming it. And then last week I wasn't on MacYac because my internet had been cut off for lack of payment. I have no control over my internet's bills. I had no clue because they're still in my dad's name. My executor doesn't even have control over the internet. It just auto pays through the last account we have. The auto pay cut off. We had no clue until I had no internet. I had no internet for almost a week. Everything. Every time I planned on doing something to come back, something bad happens. So I've been avoiding doing things because every time I do something, something bad happens. Every time. It never fails. You know, every time I say, I'm coming back, guys, this isn't the one and only video. There's going to be another one after this, shortly after. This shortly after one never comes. It is the one and only. Because I film that one, upload it, and very next day something bad happens. It's 2020 in a nutshell, isn't it? So, yeah, the 12 Pro Max I'm looking forward to, for sure. Might do a video on it. Filming it with my old phone. That could be interesting. But I highly doubt I will do that video. But Friday we'll find out if I do or not. You know. But yeah, I'm more snap out of it, Jay. Thank you, Joshua. Anyway, I should wrap it up because I'm trying my best not to cry, bawl on camera. It's been a really hard year. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining tonight. I didn't say it in the beginning, but hi, I'm Greg Rutke of Rutke Mods. I mean, you already know that. You're watching this live stream. You're supporting me, giving me good words, cheering me up. But, yeah, I didn't begin the video that way. And I didn't put the intro in, which there's no point in doing it now. I just started right out into saying, screw 2020, screw 2020. But anyway. Yes, I do, GT. But every time I hook up a computer to play UTO4, it usually breaks or disconnects from the internet and won't reconnect. 2020. But anyway. Thank you guys for joining. Don't forget, I do have a Patreon if you'd like to support this sad poor sap that can't make anything. But anyway, I do have a Patreon. I'll have a link in the description below. I'll probably forget to add it to the end of this video, but I do have a Patreon if you want to support me. You know, I will be back. I want to do another live stream soon, and I'm going to try to be... Thank you, Jay, for the sticker. But, yeah, I'll try. I'm planning on being on Magiac. When is today? Tuesday? Okay. On Thursday, I was going to say tomorrow. I can't even keep track of my days anymore. I'm going to more than likely be on Magiac. You know. I want to do another live stream that's not depressing. Do another Q&A or something. Where I actually read your messages. You know. Thank you, Jay. I'd rather you not kiss me anyway, so... but yeah, thank you guys for watching tonight. You know, Patreon, blah, blah, blah. thank you for your continued support. I'll definitely be coming back at some point. And thank you just from the bottom of my heart. You guys do make me feel better every time. I'm glad I actually did this video. Get it out, get it off my chest. Man, this year sucked. Screw 2020. But anyway, thanks for watching. And yeah, this has been a Wreck-A Mods video, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.